Okay, welcome everyone. I think we have some people jumping on here, but we're going to get started right away. So, hi, hello, welcome to the Masterclass, learning how to deal with your stress eating and how to make it stop. So, my name is Macy Graham, and I'm a wellness consultant, a yoga teacher, and a mind-body eating coach. And stress eating is and a recovering stress eater. So I feel like stress eating is something that we all kind of have to deal with in life, or like it at least is something that we experience when it comes up. And so that's why we really made this masterclass, because it's something that both Hannah and I have dealt with before, that we've personally gone through, and we've heard a lot through our clients that we've already worked with, and then also people that we are reaching out to just in general. Stress eating was like this number one topic that kept on coming up, and we just wanted to address that. So I really struggled with stress eating through my college years when I was dealing with school, and I was also a collegiate athlete. And so that's when I was really in the midst of stress eating and binge eating. And so we'll give you some tips and strategies here really quickly in 40 minutes or less that can help you with stress eating. And I'll let Hannah go ahead and introduce herself as well, and then we'll go ahead and get started.
Hi, everyone. I am Hannah Hips. I am a mind-body eating coach as well as a yoga instructor. And I feel like I just stress ate last week. That was like my thing last week. So regardless of where you are on your journey, and one thing that I want to be very clear about is that these strategies are ongoing. So just because you feel like you've overcome it and then you accidentally revert back to stress eating or using food to cope, that you will have different tools to help you, because it necessarily never always like 100% goes away. Like, we are still human. We still have to deal with stress, and we still have to deal with comfort, and food sometimes is the way that we need to go, but being able to do it in a way that is not guilt-stricken and defeating. And so this is just about empowering class, and we really want you to think about a different way of looking at your stress eating. So we're super excited to be talking about this today. Thanks so much for being here.
Yes. All right. So we're just going to go ahead and jump right in. So as you saw when you guys signed up, we have really 3 takeaways and 3 topics that we're going to talk about today. And the first one is we're going to help you pinpoint where your stress is specifically coming from. And I'm going to go ahead and tackle this one. So something that we learned, Hannah and I learned through our mind-body eating coaching certification, is this idea of lifestyle dimensions. And I'm sure you have heard of this in some way or another, but we've learned that there's 8 different lifestyle dimensions. And these dimensions, depending on what's going on in your life, can really affect your stress levels and affect the way that you're eating and your relationship with food. So the first one is family. What is your family history like? What is your relationships with your family like? Your current relationships? What are the dynamics of your family? Maybe past traumas that your family has gone through. Just this whole idea of family is one lifestyle dimension. And that can be different for everyone, right? So whatever that means for you. Number 2 is primary relationships. Primary relationships are the people that you're in relationship most with. So if you're in a relationship, if you have a husband or a boyfriend or whatever, maybe it's your boss, if you're very career focused, it's really that person that you spend the most time with, that you're affected by most, and that you are either loved by or maybe just impacted by in a beautiful way. Number 3 is work and money, which I'm sure can be a huge amount of stress for a lot of us, right? Is making enough money, feeling abundant or lack there of abundance? Do you actually like the work that you're doing? Do you like your career, or do you feel like you're kind of stuck and stagnant in doing work that you don't really enjoy? That can cause a lot of stress, which can cause a lot of stress eating. Number 4 is physical environment. So the actual physical environment that you are living in, the state you live in, the house that you're living in, or the apartment. Also, your work environment is your physical environment. So just think of those physical environments that you're in on a daily basis and how you are affected by those. If you really, truly enjoy them, or if they're maybe dragging you down, possibly even causing allergies or symptoms related to stress eating. Number 5 is spirituality. And of course, this is different for everyone. There's all types of different spiritual backgrounds and religions and ways of practicing religion or spirituality. So what does that mean to you? And do you feel connected to that? Are you really clear about what your spirituality is? Or do you have some stress around the unknown, around not knowing what you truly believe in? Number 7 is deeper desires. So I like to think of this one as like, are you living out your heart's deepest desires, or do you feel like you're holding yourself back by staying in a job you hate, staying in a relationship that is abusive? Whatever it may be, there may be some deeper desires that aren't being fully lived out that are causing you to reach for food in a stress state. And then number 8, which is the last one, is health, overall health. Do you feel healthy, or do you feel vibrant? Do you feel energized, or do you feel low energy? Do you know that your digestion is messed up? Do you know that your relationship with food could improve? Not only this, but also thinking of health in our world and the world we live in, because the people that we're around and the way that they eat and the way that the food that people bring in to share at work, like, we're all affected by all of that. So thinking of health in all these different ways. And so those are the 8 different dynamic lifestyle dimensions. And what I want you, and I'll go over them again just one time, and I want you to just circle or asterisk or star the one that you feel you have the most stress around, okay? So there's family, primary relationships, work and money, physical environment, spirituality, sexuality, deeper desires, and health. And I think I might have actually missed sexuality. So sexuality is talking about sex, about pleasure. Are you receiving the sex that you want, or are you not in a sexual relationship at all? Are you giving yourself pleasure, not only through sex, but also through food in a meaningful way, in a way that feels good? Also, like intimacy, touch, like, have you been in past traumas around sexuality? So also your body image can be tied into sexuality. So those are all different ways that can be tied in. So sexuality, deeper desires, and health. So maybe put an asterisk by the one that you feel is causing you the most stress, is causing you the most life force, the one that has a lot of tension, a lot of drama around it, and take note of that. And after this masterclass, or even right now, if you have your journal or your notebook with you, start to write down why. Like, why is this stressful? What does it look like? What are the specific things that are causing you stress, or the specific people? And then also, like, how does that make you feel? Like, not only just saying like, oh, well, it makes me feel stressed, but like physically, how does it make you feel in your body? I'm just gonna put one person on mute because we have a little background noise here. And then you can really correlate that lifestyle dimension with your stress eating. So start to make those deeper connections with, okay, like how's this lifestyle dimension being connected to my stress eating? And how are we using food to cope for this stress that's showing up in our life? And then also just kind of brainstorming some strategies that you can do to alleviate that stress, because a lot of it is self-imposed. There's some stress that we can't control, right? There's God's stuff that we can't control. When someone gets really sick, we can't control that, but we can control the way we react to things, and alleviate those self-imposed stressors, such as stress eating or other ways of that we're kind of self-sabotaging to try and make ourselves feel better, instead of actually maybe just sitting and pausing and noticing what we really need. Okay, so that's what I have for that. Hannah, do you have any questions on that, or anything to kind of wrap it up?
I think for like pinpointing where the stress is coming from, I think a lot of the times we can come with that answer pretty quickly. And,
yeah,
you know, when we are stressed, we make really unhealthy decisions because our body is in survival mode. And if we are constantly in survival mode, it's really hard to get out of that state and really try to improve our healthy habits or our eating or anything else, or even dealing with stress. So I think the first part is awareness of knowing that area of your life that is creating that anxiety, that intention inside of you, and to spend time and question, like, what's going on with this area? Like, why am I feeling this way? And is there anything that you can do that can help alleviate it? And just really just bringing that awareness to it, I think, is a huge part into where stress comes from.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even today when I did this exercise earlier, and I was rating it, like, what was my number one stressor, and then just a couple hours later something happened, and I was like, oh, maybe maybe that's a big stressor, and it was actually one that was lower. And so it just reminds me that, like, this is ever evolving, and that, like, one day you may feel like your stress is in your work and your money, but then another day, or maybe even like a couple hours later, it could be showing up in your primary relationship, showing up in your family if someone calls you. And so just know that ebb and flow is always going to be happening in life. And this framework, these dimensions, just help us recognize, like, oh, I have a lot of stress in work and money right now. How can I alleviate some of that? Like, what are some very simple strategies I can do to help alleviate that stress?
Yeah. I guess I'll go into our second strategy of the deeper meaning to stress. And when we think about it, like, the deeper meaning, and when I say stress eating, this is also related to emotional eating. And if you knew that it was something was causing it, like from a deeper place, would you be willing to let go of the guilt and the shame about it? Because our body it's not a willpower thing. It's not a worthy thing. It's not a deserving thing. It's like there is something inside of us that is trying to get our attention. And often we want to avoid it and cover it up. And we kind of look in the opposite direction instead of facing what we need to face. And so think about what is calling your attention. Our struggles always have a deeper meaning to it. Our eating has a deeper meaning to it. It's not that we don't have control. It's not that we can't control our eating or ourselves or anything else. It means your body is doing what it can to get your attention, to say, hey, there's something happening and I need you to look at this. And I think for us, that is a huge thing that is hard to struggle. Like Macy said, like pinpointing the areas of your life, relationship, work, money, whatever it is that's not flowing. Because when we stress eat or binge eat, I'm going to say it is bent, like held up energy. It's energy in our body. And when we're kind of like pushing it down because we don't want to deal with it, it has to come out some way. And the best way that it comes out is through stress eating, because usually you are doing it fast. You are doing it in like this crazy state where it's just like you can't control it. You don't even realize you did it until afterwards and the whole box of cookies is gone. So there's something that's like needing to release. And so getting really clear on what is causing it, like even if you just ask yourself, what is your stress eating teaching you? And I could even go to talking about maybe a relationship. I'll talk about my week last week of like how I started to stress eat like crazy. And it was because I was not speaking my truth. I was holding back things that I needed to say that lined with me. And so this could definitely be not using your voice can make you stress eat. Not living authentic life can make you stress eat. Holding in a story. So if something happened to you many, many years ago and you've never shared it with anybody and you're holding this dark secret inside of you, it's just sitting there. And it's like eventually it has to move, right? Energy has to flow and energy has to move. And if it doesn't, then we begin to get these symptoms. And stress eating is a symptom of something deeper. And it needs to be released. So even you begin to hide even our stress eating, or, I could say our closet eating. We hide this from our closest people in our life, our family, our friends, our intimate partner. And even that will cause stress eating because your body is already in this like state of panic and it's needing to come out. So even if you just share your story with one person that you feel comfortable with, or share the struggle that you're having with your eating with one person, that automatically lifts this heavy weight and burden that you've been holding on to. And so it's just important that we allow ourselves to talk about it, because this is something that we hide all the time. We hide the things that we feel are wrong with us and we don't talk about it. And so it just gets pushed down. And so I want to spend a moment to talk about, so after we eat, we feel guilty. Like it's right away, or even as you're doing it. And when we feel guilty, that means that we're doing something wrong. Like we feel like we're doing something wrong, but we're doing exactly what our body needs to do to release the energy. And what if you weren't doing anything wrong, right? Like it's not about you. It's about the deeper message that needs to come out. And along with guilt comes shame. Like we feel a lot of shame in not being able to handle or control our eating. And what shame means is we are wrong. We are wrong for doing it. And so we begin to feel this really defeated feeling and unworthy and undeserving, which does not help us try to stop, because that just kind of feeds it, right? It feeds the stress that we already have. Stress kind of feeds on stress, and it's hard to get out of that cycle. And so when we think about it, it's like if we can just look at it as like, what is the meaning? What is the deeper thing that needs to come out within all of this? And if we ask ourselves this question, we know what it is. It could be that you need to slow down in life, that you need to be more mindful, that you need to speak up in your relationship, that you need to ask for that raise at work. Like being able to talk about and deal with the thing that you're holding back on, that you're tensing up with, that you are not wanting to talk about. And so it's just so important that we just allow, if we think about our stress eating is a flow of energy, and just allowing that energy to flow more fluently, then it won't be so hard on us and stressful for that matter. So I want you to take a moment to think about this. And I want you just to think about the first thing that pops in your head. What is your stress eating teaching you? And just write it down or think about it and begin to kind of look at it with new eyes, because it's not something to be ashamed of or be guilty of. It is something that we do. And I can still stress eat and be okay with it. I no longer feel guilty about it because I'm fully aware of what I'm doing. I have the tools to help me be able to get through that stressful time and use food. And there's times that I don't use food. So there's a way to make this a healthy relationship with our food, with our stress. And that's what me and Macy are here to help you with. Do you want to add anything to that?
It's really good. And I really like the idea of like changing how you're eating and changing the experience of eating, instead of focusing so much on like what you're eating, especially at first, like when you're at the very beginning of this journey of like healing your relationship with food. I feel like diet culture tells us like we have to change the food we're eating because we're a bad person because we're not eating perfectly. And I think what's even more like way more important than that is changing our experience with food. And I mean, you mentioned like I allow myself to stress eat because I'm present and I know it's happening. But like to me, that's not stress eating. You may be eating because there's something stressful going on in your life, but because of the way that you have changed the experience of it and you're allowing yourself to eat, you're present with your food and like you're allowing it to happen, then you're taking that power, like you said, you're taking that power back, that personal power back. And instead of the food having the power, you have the power to choose and decide when you get to eat, how it makes you feel, and the experience that you're living into. Instead of being, it's almost like an out-of-body experience. I'm sure you guys can relate to that with stress eating. You don't feel embodied in your body. You feel out of your body, like more in your head, like thinking a lot, maybe like negative thoughts or like all the stressful things going on. So you're very like flighty and more up in your head. And I think it's a great segue kind of into our last tip, which is really the one thing that you need to do in order to stop stress eating. And that is to, like, the overarching theme is to get present, is to stop. And when you're in that rushed, anxious, like standing up, eating food in your kitchen or eating in your car on the way to work and you're 15 minutes late, or you're eating off of your kid's plate, whatever it is, whatever stressful eating situation it is, stop. And I like to use the strategy. What helps me stop is just going like, stop, and then take a big breath, like a big sigh, and then just say, I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. And that simple mantra and the sigh. So The sigh, there's science behind the sigh. It allows our physiology to relax, to drop from the stress response, which is that sympathetic nervous system, into parasympathetic, which is the relaxation response. And when they say like a big sigh of relief, like they're not kidding, like that is real. It helps your body relax by bringing in more oxygen, and then physically letting it go can release that energy of that power. And then it helps ground your energy down. And then the mantra of saying, I'm back, brings you back into your body, brings you back into the experience. And it gives you the power back to decide, okay, do I want to eat or do I not want to eat? Because what I know you don't want is to be stuck in that gray area where you're eating, but in your head, you're not really allowing yourself to eat. But you're eating anyways. And so there's like all these mixed feelings and emotions going on, which causes you to go back into the stress response. So you either choose to eat and let it serve you, or you choose not to eat and pause and do nothing, change your environment, go outside, take a bath, like change your state. And so it becomes your choice, and it becomes your power stance to be able to decide, what are you going to do next? How do you want to respond?
I love the sigh. Like I do that all the time. Every time I feel stressed, it's like it's that release of energy. Instead of like holding it in, just release it out. One of the things that I really love to do is just say, stop, and what do I see? And what that does, it just anchors you into the present moment. It also like just helps you like just pause, like what are you experiencing right now? What do you see? What is the first thing you see? And it could be that box of cookies. Look at the box of cookies. Just look at it. Like, what is the colors? What's the wording? What's the font? Or like a lot of the times I'll just look at my son and I look at his eyes. And I'm like, oh, his eyes are so blue. Or I'll see his smile. And it's like you just take in your environment and your experience. And what that does, it just helps you shift from this frantic state and allows you just to kind of be present. And because that's what this is all about, is like getting present. And then you can kind of take a moment, you can eat. And even when you're eating, like look at your food. What do you see? What do you see? Because I feel like that is such a huge thing, because our visual is so impactful, and we want to be able to be aware of what we're doing. And that's what this is all about. Stop. What do you see? What is the first thing you see? And to spend some time looking at it. That has been a huge help for me. And it's like, I'll even stop and just look at my food. I will stop and look at outside, the trees, like whatever I see in front of me, and just observe it and kind of just take it all in.
Yeah. So you guys can probably tell that we're both yoga teachers, because it all ties in so well. Like being mindful, not only with your food, but like the way you move, the way you're living, taking time to reflect on your lifestyle dimensions and like where you really need to spend some time and attention to grow and evolve into the person that you want to be, and to improve your relationship with food, improve your relationship with yourself, with your loved ones, with your, with your career, with every single interaction that you make, like just feeling better on a daily basis. And so this really all ties back to Embody Your Life, which is our group coaching program that is coming up next week. June 25th is when we begin. And it's an 8-week women's only group coaching program that is designed to help you learn how to embody through yoga, through mind-body eating, which we talk a lot about today, and then also lifestyle design, creating a life that you love and that you're really passionate about. And we're so excited. This is our second round to go through this. And we did it at the beginning of the year. It was our New Year's edition. And then this round is our summer self edition. And so we're super excited to guide you through 8 weeks. Our calls are on Tuesday nights at this time. So if you're able to make this masterclass, then you should be able to make most of our classes then. We're not on video at all, so, and neither are you. So you get to show up in your PJs. And also, if you can't make the classes live, then they're recorded and emailed for you to keep, and you can listen to them on your drive into work, or when you're doing laundry, or whenever you have time. Embody Your Life is meant to fit into your life, and it's meant to support you. So I'll let Hannah talk a little bit about it, and then we have a little discount code to share with you too.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Every time I think of Embody Your Life, I just get all tingly inside. Like, it's just like, what does that mean to embody your life? To fully be committed to taking care of yourself, like from the inside out. And I loved how, like, there's so much to our health and even our nutrition. It's not just the nutrition. It's not just our health. It's not just our work, and it's not just our emotional being. It's all of it combined, because they're all weaving together. And what Embody Your Life is all about is weaving those together in a way that's easy and doable. We take you week from week, and we just like create this roadmap for you from starting at point A and going to point B in a way that it's effortless. Because isn't that what we want? We want life, and we want things to be more effortless. We don't want to have to force anything, because if you force it, then you're not going to stick with it. And so the way that we have designed it is to really create sustainable results, and giving you the tools and the strategies to take yourself from one part to being stressed with your eating to really feeling confident in yourself and having these results that you can stay with, because you can always come back to all of the principles that we teach you in Embody Your Life. That's 8 weeks of amazing information. We get so excited just talking about it that you can come back to this when you have a different area of your life that needs help. Like, come back to the work. And I don't know, I just get so excited, because we want you to be able to listen to your intuition, listen to your body in the way that you eat, the way that you move, and the way that you live your life, because that's what it's about, coming from this place, this deeper place, right? Deeper place, and feeling completely embodied in your life, completely good about all of your choices. So you stop beating yourself up, you stop feeling guilty, you stop feeling unworthy, because you are, darn it, you are worthy, and you deserve everything that you want in life. And me and Macy help you with that, and we're just like stoked to be able to do this again.
Yeah. Yep. So the 8 weeks, our intention is week 1. So we set your intention for the entire program. So it's really specific to maybe stress eating, maybe to your body image, or whatever it may be. That's what you're going to set in week 1, is your intention for the entire program moving forward. Week 2, we build on that vision. So we take your intention and start to vision board it, to make it come to life, and to start to feel what it would feel like for that to actually manifest, for it to actually happen for you. Week 3 is Nourish Week. And so we go a lot into mind-body eating, mind-body nutrition, the lifestyle dimensions. We also go over 11 mind-body nutritional dimensions. If you have any one-off questions at any point on any of these calls, like, you're always going to have the option to jump on the call and get one-on-one coaching. So Nourish Week is a great week for focusing on all things food and embodiment and nourishment. Week 4 is Flow Week, which I lead, and I love Flow Week because it's all about mindful movement, finding exercise that you enjoy, adding movement into your day, not making it this thing where you have to go, to take 3 hours out of your day to move. No, you can actually take like 10 to 15 minutes and feel a shift, feel different. And then week 5 is design. So we kind of circle back to our intention and our vision and really design what this is all going to look like and how we're going to tangibly bring this intention to life. And then from there, it's all about trust, which is week 6, surrender, which is week 7, which is really just taking trust another layer deeper. And then, of course, our last week is embody. And by that point, by the end of the 8 weeks, we hope and we feel like you will be embodied, that you will feel like connected to your belly, to your heart, to your head, and everything will feel equal. And you'll just have so many nuggets of wisdom and knowledge and things that you'll never forget. Like once you hear these things, you know them, you know them in your heart to be true. And so if you desire all of these things, we would love to have you. And Hannah has a $50 coupon code, so a discount, $50 discount to share with you. What was that again?
So if you go to bit.ly/embody masterclass, it will take you to the cart. And when you get to the cart and you want to put the coupon in, just type in embody and it will give you $50 off. And then you will sign up for the class, which we start next Tuesday. And everything is recorded. So you can, if you can't listen to it right then and there, you can listen to it later. Yeah.
So, and if you guys haven't seen yet, so in the chat box, if you're live with us now, you can go to the chat and that link is live. So it's that bit.ly/embody masterclass and then use the coupon code embody for $50 off for Embody Your Life. And we start next week. We start next Tuesday, June 25th. And you get all of these for life. So whichever video, like you get the entire program, you get all the recordings, they'll never go away. They'll always be stored for you to come back to and to listen to. And so I like to revisit this work often. And it's been really fun to go back through the New Year's class that we did and cross off some things. I'm like, wow, like that actually happened. Like I actually did manifest that. And oh, wow, I actually do feel that way now. And so that's been really fun.
Yeah, we would like, if you are ready, if you feel unfocused, you are confused about how to eat, you just are lacking the motivation or the desire that you truly want, and you feel like something's missing in your life, I'm telling you, this program is exactly what you need, because we will just guide you through this. It's not even like a program where you get a plan. It's like you create your plan. You create exactly how you want to be and how you want to live. And that is so impactful. Like you get to make the rules of your life, and we want you to make it so it's easy to do and you'll stick to it. And if you fall off, it's not the end of the world. You jump right back on. It's like learning to be your best friend and your best supporter, because that is so important in life. Like we have to be able to count on ourselves. We have to be able to have confidence and just have a better sense of who we are.
Awesome. All right, you guys, well, we're right at that 40-minute mark. So we're going to let you go. We can't wait to see you and embody your life. We hope this really helps you get clear on stress eating and to learn how to stop simply by being present. Simple, but not always easy, right? We like to say that.
Yeah. Thanks so much for coming tonight. We hope you have a wonderful day.
Bye, you guys.